I remember I did this discussion with Mami Grace on her show about what Jesus said about Prophet Muhammad. When you look at Deuteronomy 18:18, Moses had already prophesied that a prophet will come.
Okay.
And that prophet shall be like unto you. And I'll put my words in his mouth, and he will tell them all that I have commanded him. Deuteronomy chapter 18, verses 18.
Okay.
And this particular, verse, when you look at Deuteronomy chapter 34, verses 10, it is written that there arose not a prophet in Israel like unto Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face. And Deuteronomy 18:18 said, the prophet that will come will be like you, Moses.
First of all, he contradicted himself in so many ways. He started by saying that they don't need a Bible. They, the Muslims, don't need a Bible. Yet he ended up quoting passages in the Bible to authenticate Muhammad. In fact, the Quran enjoins Muslims to believe in the Bible. So it is false for him to say they don't need a Bible. Quran chapter 2 verse 136, Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 136, Surah Al-Nisa, ayah 136. The Quran challenges Muslims to believe in the previous books. The Torah, that's the books of Moses, the Zabul, the Psalm, and the Injil, the Gospel of Jesus. And you still need a Bible. In fact, without the Bible, the Quran makes no sense. For example, the Quran talks about Abraham sacrificing his son. Who is the son that Abraham sacrificed? The Quran talks about Adam and his wife, but the Quran doesn't mention the name of Adam's wife. It's only in the Bible we are told the wife of Adam is what? Eve. It is only in the Bible we are told that son that Abraham had wanted to sacrifice was Isaac. Is that okay? So the Quran tells them to believe in the Bible. Yeah, they will say the Bible is false, the Bible is not authentic, but where it satisfies them, they will quote it. Like the way he quoted Deuteronomy 18:18, saying that is about what? Is about Muhammad. Deuteronomy 18:18 is not about Muhammad. Deuteronomy 18:18 is about Jesus. Jesus in John 5:46 says that Moses wrote about me and not Muhammad. And he gave the criteria. According to Deuteronomy chapter 34 verse 10, the criteria was that prophet Moses saw God face to face. And that prophet would be like what? Moses. Did Muhammad see God face to face? No. According to the Quran, Muhammad didn't see Allah. But Jesus in John 17 told us that he was in heaven with the Father. So he saw the Father face to face. And those things that he said, Jesus was Muhammad got married just as Moses also got married. Those things can be satisfied by any of the prophets. Isaiah, all those prophets also got married, like the way Moses was. So that is not a unique criteria you can use to identify that prophet to come. So the criteria the Bible gives us is that Moses saw God face to face, and Moses performed miracles. Muhammad couldn't perform miracles. People challenged him to perform miracles. The only thing that he said was that his only miracle was that he was given the Quran. Jesus performed amazing miracles. Jesus saw the Father face to face.
But I let Muhammad divided the moon into two.
Oh, he doesn't know.
Those things were, he said that the New Testament was written many years after what?
He doesn't know those ones.
He said the New Testament. All those miracles that Muslims point to were written in the Hadith, not in the Quran. Yeah, so this Hadith that they point to, most of these fanciful miracles were recorded later in the Hadith. And this Hadith, he was accusing Christians that the New Testament was written many years after Jesus. It's not true. Jesus died around AD 30. The New Testament letters were written from between AD 40 to AD 100. So it was written within the first 50 years after Jesus died. And they were written by eyewitnesses, people that saw Jesus.
People who were there.
Yeah, for example, John 1. Go to John 1. If you read John 1, 1 John chapter 1. 1 John 1. This is what John the Apostle says about what they wrote. Whether they just heard it from hearsay or something. They were eyewitnesses. The New Testament is an eyewitness account of what Jesus did. Okay, so John 1, this is what the Bible says.
1 John 1.
1 John chapter 1.
Verse 1.
That which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon, and our hands have handled concerning the word of life. The life was manifested, and we have seen and bear witness and declare to you that eternal life which was with the Father and was manifested to us. This eyewitness testimony is not hearsay.
Who wrote that one?
Sahih al-Bukhari, John the Apostle, one of the disciples, which you the Muslims call the Sahabas. Is that okay? The Sahih Bukhari that Muslims point to, when was Imam Bukhari born? Bukhari was born 200 years after Muhammad died.
Okay, so he was not.
Yet everything about the life of Muhammad, they get it from Sahih Bukhari. When you take the Quran out, this is the second most authentic book in Islam. So all the miracles that they talk about, they get it from this Bukhari and Muslim and Ibn Majah and other hadiths. So when it comes to, in terms of authenticity, Muslims shouldn't talk about those things at all. Then he talks about the Quran. He was saying copies of the Bible were burned. Yes, by who? The Roman Empire. Were they Christians? No, they were not Christians. But in Islam, copies of the Quran were burned by who?
Uthman.
By Uthman. Was Uthman an enemy of Islam? No. There were many versions of the Quran. So they have to standardize the Quran. The original Quran has no vowels. If you bring the original Quran to this my sheikh, he cannot read. The Quran that they have today, they have the critical marks. The Dharma, those alphabet, those vowels, so that they can read it. And they revise the Quran. Those copies, all those variant copies were burnt. And today, we have about 6 major manuscripts of the Quran, the top copy manuscripts. The Samarkand manuscript, the Al-Hussein manuscript in Cairo. And this manuscript, scholars have studied it, and they are all different. We have different surahs. In fact, we have 2 major versions of the Arabic Quran today. Let me read. Where's my phone? Let me check. We have 2 major. We have about 26 different Arabic versions of the Quran in the world today. So my sheikh shouldn't talk about in authenticity. Today we are not talking about authenticity of the Bible and the Quran, but we have the washed Quran, then we have the halves Quran. He can tell me if I'm lying. We have the halves Quran, we have the washed Quran, and the Muslims will tell you, they are just different readings, but it's a lie. There are actually differences in this Quran. In fact, when you look at the halves Quran, Surah Al-Anbiya, Surah Al-Anbiya, Ayah, that's chapter 21 verse 4. This is what the halves. The color means he said. But when you go to the washed Quran, the washed Quran say cool. Cool say. So is it which is which? Which one is from Allah? Is it kala or cool? When you go to Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 140, according to the Hafs Quran say takuluna. Takuluna means you say. But when you go to the washed Quran say yakuluna, they say. So you say so is it they say or you say? These are not English translation. These are Arabic Qurans. Muslims will hide this there, then they will talk about the Bible. And even when you come to the English Quran, the way they will use King James Version, NIV, the Christians are changing the Bible. When you read Quran chapter 3 verse 55, in this Yusuf Ali, it says, Allah said to Jesus, I will take you and raise you to myself. But the same Quran, Hilali Khan Quran, translated by two professors of University of Medina, this Quran says, Allah said to Jesus, I'll make you sleep and take you to myself. So which is which? Is this I will take you and raise you to myself? Or is it I'll make you sleep and take you to myself? So they all translate the Arabic in the Mutawafika. They all translate the Arabic differently. So you have a whole lot of problems in Islam. So you don't you shouldn't hide yours, then you talk about Christians. We have issues with the Bible, we admit it. But they all translate the Arabic in the Mutawafika. They all translate the Arabic differently. So you have a whole lot of problems in Islam. So you shouldn't hide yours, then you talk about Christians. We have issues with the Bible, we admit it. But in Christianity, what we say is that none of the issues, none of the scribal issue that we had with the Bible destroyed the central message of the Bible. The Bible has been copied over centuries. So we had what we call scribal error. That's why when you read the new versions, in the footnote, they will say some manuscripts do not have this, some Asian manuscripts have this, some don't have, but none of those mistakes that crept in as a result of years of copying, destroy the central message of the Bible. You can talk about ages where some passage will say 18 years, one will say 8 years, which is which. We admit some of them came in because of the copying. The same with the Quran. That's why their manuscripts today are all different, but just that they don't talk about it. In Islam, in an Islamic country, you talk about the Quran, you'll be beheaded. Unlike the Christian world where you can even talk about the Bible, no one would say anything to you. Like the way Abraham will come and say so many things about the Bible. Ghana is a Christian majority country. Abraham cannot go to Sokoto in Nigeria and sit on a platform like yours and speak the way he speaks about Bible and and just have it easy.